Being a conductor is a team game. It's forever chasing that perfect something. Without a team, there is no music. But together, the conductor is the driver of the orchestra. When you're in front of a crowd, you live in the moment. There's a spark and a passion that unites everyone. We want to make the notes leap off the page. As musicians, we obsess over the tiny details. Every note, every breath, every bow, every stroke.
Señoras y señores, hace unos minutos Aston Martin reveló su coche para la temporada 2025 de F1, el monoplaza que pilotarán Fernando, Alonso y Stroll. Y aquí está el video de la presentación y algunos datos interesantes sobre el armado del vehículo con el que quieren volver a pelear por los podios en el Gran Circo. Del Aston Martin ya conocíamos su decoración, muy similar al de los últimos años, con el blanco como protagonista en la caja de aire para alojar a su nuevo patrocinador principal. Lo descubrimos en la presentación conjunta de la F1 por el 75 aniversario del Mundial el pasado martes en Londres, donde Alonso y Stroll se vistieron de Bond, James Bond, y donde las escuderías mostraron sus nuevos colores. El que se presentó el domingo y aquí pudiste ver en video el coche verdadero, el que un día después sacarán a la pista del circuito internacional de Bahrein en Sakir para hacerle el shakedown, es decir, recorrer los primeros kilómetros y comprobar que todo ha nacido bien. En ese mismo lugar en el que el lunes Aston hará estas pruebas, también se celebrarán esta semana los test de pretemporada, 3 jornadas, de miércoles a domingo, que serán las únicas de preparación para una temporada 2025 que arranca del 13 al 15 de marzo con el GP de Australia. Aston Martin aún no ha anunciado qué jornadas disputarán Alonso y Stroll, ya que los 3 días se los tienen que repartir de manera que cada uno haga un día y medio de prácticas. Recordamos que aunque dentro de muy poco Adrian Newey empezará a trabajar con Aston Martin y podrá influir en el nuevo monoplaza, no es un coche que haya nacido de sus ideas, por lo que su influencia no será tan grande como podrá ser el de 2026, que sí será un proyecto suyo.
Some inserts here that are going to go into the rear wing flap. So if you imagine where the rear wing is on the car, there'll be certain areas where the flap has got to move. The fittings of that will need to either fix into carbon hard pad, which in turn gets bonded into the side of the flap. This will then have metallic fittings in there. The flap then will move once it's bolted into the assembly.
Once the carbon insert has been created by Alan in the machine shop, It's then sent through to the inspection department for scanning and conformance. Once inspection have cleared it, it makes its way through to composites, where we meet Mark.
I'm going to show you how we'd fit all the inserts and the roller cells into a rear wing flap. So this is the insert that we're talking about. This has come from the pattern shop. We then receive it, where we'll clean it up, we'll wrap it, and then what we do is we do a squeeze, a consolidation squeeze, to make sure that the actual insert fits perfectly, so that once it's cured, there's no defects and no voids within the laminate, so there's no failures while the car's going around the track. Really, we do not stop. It is just constant, churning out, churning out. And it's not just the first set of components. We don't just make 2 of these and they've got 1 for each car. It's 6 for 2 sets of cars. We have to plan for any eventuality of there's been an accident or failures or anything like that. So each set of races, you'd need a minimum set of 6 components. So as you can imagine, trying to get for the first race in March is a big, big push for all of us.
The rear wing, which our carbon insert is now being put inside of, is a key part of any Formula One car. The wing has now been bagged by Mark. The squeeze checks have been completed and everything fits together as required. The product now needs curing and finishing, which means it needs to be placed inside an autoclave by cold.
We're still in composites, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be loading this into one of our autoclaves. It's then going to be, again, vac down, hit with a lot of pressure, a lot of heat, which is then going to set off all the resin inside the multiple layers and different bits of material we've put together in this component to harden it and bring it together to create that complete component. So what this is going to be doing is going to be monitoring the actual temperature of the job. So if there are any temperature spikes or, I don't know, hot spots for whatever reason, the clave then alerts us when it is closed and ongoing so that we can come to its aid if need be. So we can try and keep it as safe as.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Several hours later, our carbon insert is cured inside the rear wing, but the process isn't complete yet.
Hi, I'm Russell, I'm a composite trimmer and welcome to the trim shop. The carbon insert you've been following has now been laminated inside around about there with the roller cells and everything, and it's since been cured, and so things have moved, so now it's ready to fettle and trim to get to the right size. I've been with the team for 12 years now and always been a composite trimmer. The jobs have varied in that, chassis, front wing, rear wing, basically everything really. The next thing I do, we need to dry fit it into the bonding jig. To go to inspection for a dry scan. They'll make sure everything's in the parameters for us to go ahead and bond it together. So the end ribs go on there, they have to be in the right place. In case it is obvious, this is the DRS flap and this is the pivot point where it pivots basically, so it's really important that everything is spot on as it has to go fit between the rear wing main plane. It's just a question of going through a sequence of making sure you're happy with the way it fits. So just put it in like that. And looking good there, and that's ready to roll into inspection to be dry scanned. Once you get the thumbs up from them, you bring it back out, and there's various bond preps to do on the metallics and the carbon, and then you glue it together. Once it's glued, you leave it for 14 hours to bench cure until you do the next stage. And here's one we made earlier. Once the bonding's gone off and the glue's gone off, we drill and insert key inserts into the insert that you've been following around the campus to do the DRS system, a bit of cleaning up, and you have one rear flap ready.
Creating such a high volume of parts to tight deadlines requires many skilled hands. all working collaboratively and effectively to achieve one result: create the best possible car in the sport. For Alan, Mark, Cole and Russell, the work doesn't stop. But their work is now complete on our carbon insert and the rear wing. The wing is now sent onto the car assembly team, whose job it is to put all of the parts together, ready for Bahrain testing.
Suscríbete, dale like y déjanos tu comentario sobre qué te ha parecido el nuevo Aston Martin. Esto es Historia sobre Ruedas, en amistad.